This next little bit that we'll look at is continuing on from subsetting, and it can be subsetting, but it can also be ordering those subsets and even taking a random sample of them. So I'll continue on. Oops, I didn't mean to do that in the console. I'll do it here in the script. If you're following along in the book, this is page 52, but I'll call this variable ordering index because it will be an index of row locations for ordering. So we've looked at order before, and we're going to, I think that we've looked at order before. If not, orders first by class, and which means that it'll do all the class, put the class together. I think it does it alphabetically. And the second one, the way that he was describing what we want to try to do when you do it this way is class ascending and token frequency descending. So by default, they're all ascending. And so the way to make it descending is to put a minus on there. Let's run this and see what ordering index is. So these again are the indexes of the rows. So if we want to see what those are, then we would put that in for X, and then we have to put the comma because we want all the rows to go with that. And really it gives us the whole set, but it puts us in the ordering that our index has given us. So first class has been ordered ascending, and then token frequency is descending, but within those. So that's descending, and then those are descending. So the next one we're going to look at is finding the dimensions of the rows and the columns, because supposing that it were a large data set and we didn't know what the dimensions are, we can both find the dimensions and then use that to grab or sample part of the set. So we're going to call this number of rows, and the function is dim for dimensions, and retriever this or set the dimensions of an object. So we want the dimensions of X, and when we put a bracket after it, the number 1 in the bracket returns the number of rows. So if we want to see what's in number of rows, and we know our data set, so we know there's 5 rows, we know that's correct. So we put number of columns, and in this data set, data frame, there's only 2 rows and columns. So 2 is going to give us columns, and we'll run it. Number of columns is our second one, and there's 4 columns, which we actually already knew, 1, 2, 3, 4. But that's how we can grab it even when we don't know. So then using this, we can take our ordering index and put it in there a sample of the number of rows. So we know that there are, from what we just looked at, 5 rows. So it's going to now give us a sample of 5. So it's going to mix up those numbers and give us in approximately random order, as much as it randomizes. And if we now want to see what ordering index is again, we can see that that's the order that it's in. And if we want to see our data set now reordered with that order, we do the ordering index for the rows and comma, which will give us all the rest. if we want to compare that with just X, then this is how it was originally, and then that's reordered. Let's see. So if we want to take so this is alternatively doing the same thing. We can take a sample of the dimensions of X, so the number of rows. So if we look back here to we already put the dimensions of the number of rows in the number of rows, and then we took the sample of it and put it into ordering index, and then we put ordering index into the first row column. Now, but we need here a comma. We do. So this is just doing the same thing all in one line. So notice it's a different order because we've done it as a new sample. So looking at one more is if we wanted to be able to order by the parts of speech which don't have values. So we'll do this as ordering index, and in this time we're going to put it in the order, and this is using rank for class, and rank orders, it first puts them into whatever it takes, it puts it into numbers first and then uses those numbers to order it. That's my best understanding. If someone else has a better explanation, go ahead and add that on. So it's doing the reverse order of class and the reverse order for parts of, oh, it's just part. That's why it disappeared. And we'll run that. I like to be able to look at ordering index, especially when I'm just figuring out what everything does. So that tells us it's the location of the rows, ordering index, and then comma to give us the whole rest of the table. So if we look at the reverse order for class, so starts with O rather than C, and then within those categories, it's the reverse order of parts of speech. So N came first, and then within closed, P came first. So we'll close with that.